Well, let's get into this. We know that New York City is having a major drug epidemic, as many other liberal states, down in Philadelphia, over in San Francisco, in Seattle. We're all dealing with this same nightmare, this fentanyl, trank, zombie nightmare. But unfortunately, our politicians are doing nothing to handle this. And in today's, when this was released, this particular article on the New York Post, it seems that our officials are just waving the white flag when it comes to what we should do with this particular crisis. So let's read into this. New York City's latest advice to combat fentanyl crisis for everyone is to carry NARCAN, a wave of the white flag.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Here's the city's latest tactic to fight its deadly fentanyl crisis. Suggests every New Yorker carry NARCAN. The health department recommendation surfaced after a 1-year-old boy was killed by fentanyl at a Bronx daycare, and the city reported a 12% jump in overdose deaths last year. Factors that make the suggestion that for everyone to tote around the OD reversing treatment seemed as if authorities are giving up on the actual combating of illicit drugs, critics said Tuesday. Yeah, that's it. They opened up I remember, was it in Brooklyn? They put a dispensary, a portable dispensary with Narcan and emergency services and needles and shit like that. It emptied out in one day. Now, did anybody take it that needed it, or was it stolen? We don't know. Narcan is critical, but to assume we should all have it somewhat is of a wave of a white flag, said City Council Minority Leader Joe Borelli, Staten Island. Of course, we here in Staten Island, the continual push that we have, and this is why, we want to succeed from New York itself, be on our own, because our city officials are not doing the job that they were voted into. Health Commissioner Ashwan Vasan said at a press conference after the tragic drug death, "You should be carrying Narcan right now. Narcan has to be everywhere," Vasan said. "We have defibrillators at every bar, in every business, in every public event. We have epinephrine pens, EpiPens in public settings. Anytime you see someone walking past them who looks like they might not be conscious, who might not be breathing, who might look more sleepy or tired than usual." Oh my God. Think overdose, think opioid intoxication, and think fentanyl, the commissioner said, discovering how prevalent the synthetic opioid is in the drug supply. The Post previously reported on how fentanyl, a lab-made drug that is being pumped into the United States from Mexican cartels, has invaded nearly all aspects of the illicit drug scene in the Big Apple. That reality was furthered Monday by the city's health department's data that showed another record number of opioid deaths last year. In 2022, more than 3,000 people were the victim of fatal overdoses, a 12% uptick from 2021, when under 2,700 people died from drugs, the vast majority due to synthetic opioid. Last year's tally was the highest figure since 2000, when the cities started tracking ODs, a record officials blame on fentanyl. Dow Phillips, a 48-year-old who created the nonprofit that distributes fentanyl testing strips, said providing overdose prevention tools such as NARCAN is a no-brainer. At this point, it's obvious we need a safe passage to public health and awareness involving citywide access to adapted social services and harm reduction tools such as Noxon and fentanyl test strips, much more than we need efforts to continuing a lost and ill-conceived war on drugs, the ASAP founder said. Julia Stampert, who sits on the board of the Harm Reduction Coalition, who called on the mayor to do much more to help reverse the tragic events over the last few years. Narcan is like a fire extinguisher you hope to never use, but you need to save a life, she said, adding, NARCAN should be on everyone's first aid kit, should be available on public transportation, subways, etc. Here's the situation on this, and I'm going to tell you straight up, this is a money grab. This is where people are making money. You know, you're going to oversaturate the market with Narcan to the point where we're going to be out of Narcan, and basically when it's needed by the hospitals or emergency services, it won't be available. The difference is here, and I'm going to tell you this straight out, the difference is here is that you need to go after these drug dealers, these drug mills, prosecute them to the extent. Stop being pussies out there and saying, well, you know, they're because of their environment around them and stuff like that. They made the choice. Most of these people have come in from other countries, including China, Mexico, Central America, South America, the Mideast, and they've come here to sell drugs to you. They're here to basically kill you. Do you understand this? Do you understand this? You know, I tell everyone, please, please, please go back, and you know, if it's out, as much as people say it's outdated, go back and watch Dragnet, the original TV series Dragnet, especially a lot of the drug episodes. Listen to what Joe Friday tells.
I know that, in fact, too many kids that begin with pot end up with heroin, then on to LSD. I know that if you drink, you suffer a loss of judgment if you drink to excess. But I also know that judgment returns when you sober up. I know, and so do you, when you flip out on an acid trip, you never know when you're going to slip out again. This is now, Bentley, not a couple of years ago. We've had time now to see and study the effects of LSD. People who haven't had a dose in weeks sail out on another trip. They never know when. The minute they drop one acid capsule or ingest it in any way, they bought the farm. They've lost any chance to depend on and even restore that most precious of all inner senses, judgment. And in my way of thinking, without judgment, you might as well be dead. Your brain is, so why not the rest of you?
We were talking about marijuana.
We still are. Marijuana is the flame, heroin is the fuse, LSD is the bomb.
And the thing about it is, he is still absolutely straight on. People make the excuses, well, there's alcohol. It says, well, you know, with all the alcohol issues, the, you know, alcohol poisoning, DUIs on that, do we really need freaking weed and other drugs on there? You know, they want to legalize now magic mushrooms now. Yeah, that's right. They want to legalize the mushrooms now. How many more drugs do they want to legalize? Legalizing these drugs on the streets has not helped. It has increased the illegal trade. New York is the perfect example how recreational marijuana law have failed. We are still on hold on licensings because that the law has been already violated the Constitution when it comes to licensing. Understand that they violated the Constitution. They violated their own law by handing out licenses to illegal felons. Only. Understand this. This is the stupidity on there. Meanwhile, the increase of illegal smoke shops that are selling illegal marijuana, edibles, untaxed cigarettes, and illegal vaping tools that are illegal in New York State alone. And what do they do to handle the situation on that? They're going to go after the landlords and fine them for basically renting out the facility to people on that. That's going to violate also other constitutions. You can't stop someone from saying, well, I'm going to disavow this person because I think he's going to sell illegal stuff. You can't, you're not going to know. It's up to the police in each individual cities to go after them. Stop holding back the police, holding back the reins. Let them loose and let them do the job that they were hired to do, to protect and serve the public. And like I said, I keep going back to Dragnet. I keep going back to what Joe Friday would say to the situations. And I'll tell you, even though it's a fictional character, he is correct in what he says when it comes down to it, when it comes down to drugs, alcohol, overdoses. This is going to continue until we nip this in the bud. We need to close our borders to stop the fentanyl rush and other drugs. I mean, there's still marijuana crossing. You gotta laugh. There's still marijuana crossing the Mexican border. Do you understand that? Even though there are grow houses here, illegal grow houses, they're still bringing marijuana across there. Why? Why are they doing that? They're the ones making the money. The state is making nothing on taxes. You have New York that's going to make enough taxes that will be equivalent to a smaller city in the country. We have something like 20 million over in this state alone. We're going to make the taxes the equivalent of a 3 million populated city. That's the equivalence that it's going to happen. And to put NARCAN and say, oh, well, no, just be sure to have NARCAN, It's the same argument that in San Francisco that says, well, give them clean needles, and basically they won't get sick to the situation. We already have a situation where we had a report that basically drug addicts are cleaning their needles on toilet tissue rolls in public restrooms. Do you think that's not a danger? You're giving needles out. You're not solving the addiction. These people need help. There are drugs that can be researched, that can be brought into the war, that will eliminate the addiction, but it just needs to be researched and properly administered. The reason why that basically these drugs are not in our game, not in our arsenal, is because the pharmaceutical industry cannot make money off of it.
Drugs.
Yeah.
There's better drugs that get you off it.
Yeah.
There's quite a few that can help you. Probably the most powerful and the most efficient is Ibogaine. Because
like ayahuasca Ibogaine?
No. Ibogaine is not ayahuasca. Ayahuasca is a hallucinogenic that is from South America. It's dimethyltryptamine. Ibogaine is from the iboga tree, and it's
is that from Breaking Open the Head? There's a book called Breaking Open the Head?
I'm sure he covered that.
Okay.
I'm sure he did.
Okay.
But Ibogaine is like a and it's something I haven't experienced, so I'm just talking out of what I've read. Essentially a ruthlessly introspective 24-hour trip that rewires the way your brain views addiction and has a high level of effectiveness.
Interesting.
In rehabilitating people, like just killing the desire to do opiates.
Huh. Are they doing that in America?
Mexico. Gotta go to Mexico. Can't go to America. It's illegal in America.
Yeah.
Because according to some of the people that have used this, it's taken one dose to cure the addiction, and most of these people have not fallen back into it. The studies have been there for well over a decade. And there are still people in UCLA that have been wanting to study this, but the plant has been made illegal in the United States. Understand that we cannot use it here. Now, you may say, well, they've said that there have been issues with that particular drug. Yes, there is. But like I said, research needs to be done. It could be the level of, the potency of the particular drug. Maybe it needs to be reduced a little bit. But from what I understand and from the stories that I've read and the videos that are put out there, it has worked. So why, again, stupidity. Why are you going to throw NARCAN out there? Why are you going to throw out the needles out there? Help these people. This is the same thing with the homeless. We have the homeless population. We got the drug addicts. Meanwhile, the cities are pumping money into illegal migrants to put them into places where that money could have been done to handle the homeless situation. Mayor Adams just bought himself like a multi-million-dollar freaking RoboCop where that money could have gone to the homeless. He just spent $1,000 each. He bought 300 garbage cans. He didn't have to spend $1,000 for 300 each for each of these garbage cans. He could have gotten it cheaper. No, we gotta be fancy. We must get there fancy up the city. The city is shit right now. We need to clean it up. NARCAN is not the way to go to tell everyone to carry NARCAN. But who am I to say but a man with the show?
Thanks for watching. Before you go, please comment, like, and share this video. Also, if you haven't yet, please subscribe as this helps the reach of our channel. Finally, as a content viewer, you have that ability to help support this and many other channels. Especially now more than ever since the passing of a new law in the United Kingdom that will diminish the reach of many channels and affect our advertisers. If you wish to help grow this channel by financial support, you have two ways. There are two links in the description below. The first will send you to a pay site where you can make a monetary donation. The second will send you to our gear store where you can purchase t-shirt, mugs, and other specialty items. Any additional discounts will be listed on the main page. Once again, thank you for watching and your support.